Hey there, everybody. How we doing tonight? J-Mac here with you right now. I'm joined by two of my bros. The one, the only, Double Dirty Big B. We've actually thought about changing his handle to The House because he works at a casino. So we had that discussion. But we haven't discussed with him yet. He's finding out the first time right with you guys. So anyway, without further ado, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good. Just got off of work. Caught some of the second day of the draft. Caught the Timberwolves losing, the Twins losing, the Wild one. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad. That gets you in the Hall of Fame, I think. So
yeah, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. That's a Meatloaf reference. I would do anything for love, but you know what? I won't do that.
yep.
Go with a Meatloaf reference again. And then, of course, we're also joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Crispy Bacon.
That's got a little bit of the draft tonight. Last night was pretty chaotic as well, so not bad 2 nights.
We want to thank everyone for watching the second annual Four Bros radio show draft special. You guys gave us our best numbers ever on it, so second year was more successful than last year. And we hope the third year maybe we're going to add an element next year. I've already got some ideas of what we're going to add, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But without further ado, we're going to give our picks for who we think had the best draft, who had the worst draft, and where we think everything is going to go from there. So, Chris, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah.
Who were some picks today that you think were good picks, even though they were second and third rounders?
I know Carolina needed a quarterback. Maybe they had a good draft as far as that goes. I know Philadelphia kind of stole the show yesterday, and a couple other teams did as well. New York Jets did, so probably today Carolina maybe because they needed a quarterback bad.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Big B?
Oh, well, overall, so far, I think day one, I think the Jets kind of took it there. But again, we'll see. I mean, you can't judge a draft, probably till a couple years out. But I think the Jets did good. And I think, I got to do some research. But I want to know why Dean, the inside linebacker, and Willis fell so far. Those two were, the tops at their positions. I think they both were ranked overall in the top 20. And to see them fall late in the third round, or mid-third round, kind of shocked me a little bit. And I thought for sure the Vikings would have taken one of them, but they didn't. So we'll see what that is. But overall, right now, I think the Jets probably look pretty good right now.
Yeah, I think the Jets did pretty well in their first day also, for sure on that. Yeah, I think the Jets did great. I'm actually really happy with Green Bay. Believe it or not, I did say that. I just said that I'm happy with their draft. I didn't think I was going to be. Wasn't sure where they were going to go with stuff. But I actually am happy with the way the draft went for them. They finally got their wide receiver there early in the second round. The receiver I thought they were going to take, I thought that that's who they were going to end up taking.
And you're welcome, by the way, on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we actually made a deal with Minnesota. But
I'm surprised Minnesota made 2 trades within the division, and both of them took receivers.
That's true.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, Minnesota and Green Bay trading back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Vikes were going to come in and either take Dean with that second pick or Willis, and then they traded out, and then Dean and Willis kept falling. I'm like, okay, maybe they know a lot of people ain't high on them, so they're going to take them later, and they passed on them again, and I'm just, kind of just lost right now on that. So my grade for Minnesota right now, I kind of got to go with the incomplete, I think.
An incomplete, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think they reached on that offensive lineman they took. I think they could have got him, probably in the 4th round, and then, yeah, they got the safety yesterday, which is hard hitting. I just think they're kind of, I don't know. Yeah, so I just got an incomplete on that.
All right. Chris, what do you think of the Cowboys?
Yeah.
What did you give them for a grade?
I thought they did pretty good. I feel like they're drafting out of need instead of want this year, which is always good. I mean, last couple years, the players they've selected have been more off of their draft board than really need. So I'd probably give them a B.
All right. I'll give Green Bay a B. I thought we should have took the receiver in the 1st round instead of the 2nd. And here's an interesting piece of information that I looked up today. Since 2012, Green Bay has used 1 first-round pick on an offensive player.
Oh, wow.
And that offensive player was Aaron Rodgers' backup, who's only played 2 games in the NFL.
And you're thinking, oh, that's it.
Well, and then you're just looking at the people who got drafted. I mean, when's the last time 1 running back went in the 1st round? Or no running backs went in the 1st round. 1 quarterback went in the 1st round.
Quarterback, yep.
I mean, it kind of reminded me of, I'm trying to think, I want to say it was like 2019-18 NBA draft, where a lot of teams were just taking project players and, so they could send them to the D League. There wasn't really any standout. So it's going to be interesting, and I hope we are around together as a group, 5 years down the road, and we can look back at this draft and kind of analyze and see how it played out. Because right now, I don't know what everybody was thinking. And right. I can't believe the analysts, especially Mel Kiper, I can't believe he was wrong on his projections this bad,
Yeah, I understand that. I know that for Malik Willis out of Liberty, he was rated pretty high, but I did hear that some of the problems were his Wonderlic test.
Okay.
He didn't score very high. I know that a perfect score is 50, and I believe the only one to ever get a 50 on that test was Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
Well, that would make sense.
From Harvard, yeah. But I think an average score they say is about 35 on that test. I think Malik Willis was somewhere around 26 or 27, so he was on the lower end.
I can't believe I dropped him that far. I mean, he was the number 1 rated quarterback, going into the draft. So,
yeah.
Well, he ended up in Carolina, so.
No, Tennessee. Happy with that. That might be week 1 starter.
No. Tennessee. I'm sorry. He ended up in Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee. So yeah.
So back up Tannehill and learn. I mean,
not a bad guy to learn behind.
Right, but how hard is it to learn to snap the ball and hand it off to Derrick Henry?
Well, actually, Jordan loved that.
Right.
But I did see a lot of comparisons to him to Jalen Hurts, so that might have scared some people away because Hurts hasn't really done much now. So,
well, you heard that they signed AJ Brown on the trade, or they got him on the trade, and then they signed him to a 4-year, $100 million deal as soon as he came to Philly. So they have his new game plan in order. It'll be the guy that's wide open that Jalen Hurts doesn't see.
Yep.
There you
I
go.
know,
Oh, I thought you were going to say the new game plan was to try to win.
well, maybe that too, but
I'm thinking
how about
that's
the
it.
right. But yeah, so definitely some surprise picks, but all in all, I think everything has gone pretty good. But 9 trades in the first round yesterday.
Yep.
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot of trades.
it certainly was a lot of trades.
I figured there was going to be a lot of trades because, going into it, I mean, nobody had a clear-cut one. Nobody, I mean, really, there was no clear-cut top 10. So there's a lot of teams going to maneuver and stuff. I mean, so the trades did surprise me. Honestly, I think Tennessee trading A.J. Brown was the big surprise for me.
Yeah. And then they drafted a guy that they say is
Compared to him.
compares to AJ Brown. So I don't know.
And I think it was Chris that said it yesterday. Well, why wouldn't you want 2 A.J. Browns?
No, I think you said that, but I thought they would. I think you said that, and then
I don't know.
And then,
or maybe somebody in the comment.
You
know what, Chris? I think I read it off a comment yesterday, so that could have been it.
I believe it was Tim Hendricks that was asking that question.
Probably.
Yeah. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting to see the first round, see where everyone went. The next 2 rounds, we got 4, 5, 6, and 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, 11 Central.
11 Central time.
Hey,
It
starts that early, man. That's 9 o'clock here.
I know we can't give our. I mean, we can say what our feelings are, but I mean, for those 2 guys that we named, Dean and Malik, that were supposed to go in the first round, to sit there in Vegas. I don't know if they both were in Vegas, but see their names dropping. I mean, how heart-wrenching is that? I mean, we saw the video of Rodgers back in his day, sitting in the green room. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, how heartbreaking could that be, or how stressful, I guess? Maybe not even heartbreaking, just stressful.
I mean, it's got to be stressful because all eyes are on you. Like, everyone's watching this happen to you, which has to suck. That's got to be the worst part, I think. For sure.
I mean, I guess, J-Mac, you might be able to put more light on it. I mean, I guess it would be like us fathers sitting in the waiting room or next to our wife's bed while she's in labor and it's just taking forever. I mean, I guess that could just be draining, but
it definitely can be, for sure. Definitely got to be draining, but I mean, the first 3 rounds are complete, and I think that most teams have done a good job. Seattle is kind of the team that has surprised me at this point. I thought that they were that they would draft a little better, but I know they got a quarterback. I forget who they got, but I don't think he's their quarterback of the future.
Yeah, I didn't see much of who went where.
Well, that's right. Carolina, by the way, got Carroll from Ole Miss. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah.
Well, what about the Patriots drafting that old lineman?
I know
that they could have gotten the late 3rd, early 4th. I mean, and they drafted in the first round. What do you think of that pick?
Wow.
I mean, we all say that Belichick is a genius, but I don't know what he's thinking on that one.
Well, yeah, I saw a lot of the posts on there, Patriot fans goes, "Oh, we got the guy we wanted." It's like, really? You're telling me that they wanted to reach at that pick to get that guy? I mean,
yeah.
Even the Rams were like, what was he thinking?
I know you'll get this reference, Big B. Chris might too, but he's never really brought up that movie before. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and it brought up Harry Doyle from Major League when he's like, well, obviously Taylor's thinking. I don't know what the hell he's thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't get it. I mean, and then I saw a couple Patriot fans was like, oh, that's gonna be the best pick. It's like,
But-
somebody even said it was a steal of the draft. I'm like, okay, to me, a steal of the draft is you get somebody late that was supposed to go, in the first round. Like, I would say Neil or Dean and Malik would be, or Willis would be the two steals of the draft if
Well-
they turn out. I can't say a guy you get in the third round, you pick in the first round would be a steal of the draft, but maybe that's just me. I mean,
I think Green Bay's got a shot at having the steal of the draft too by getting Christian Watson in the second round.
yeah,
I
that
think he was a first round pick too. Yeah.
North Dakota State kid. I mean, would have been a nice Minnesota pick, but we had to trade it.
Right. Yes, definitely. Chris, let's go ahead and roll the ads quick. We'll come back and talk some Major League Baseball.
Okay, doke.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
All right, thanks for that. And real quick, pull up that book. Let's pull up that book, Race Against Race, written by our very own Bodine Sanders. Amazon bestseller list, endorsed by the Big East Conference. Get yours today. Big B, what you got a little insight on this book? Is it a good book? Is it a good read?
Yeah, so far I've enjoyed it. Like I said, parts of it kind of makes me think of my past and the journey I kind of went through. I'm not going to compare it to what Bodine went through because, different race, I guess. But there's just parts of it that hit home to me on, like growing up and moving and, people not believing in you and, so stuff like that. So definitely a great book. Get it, while it's hot and,
All right. Definitely go get your copy today. He's going to be at a book tour starting in Jacksonville, Florida in the month of June. So check him out if you're down that way. Major League Baseball. I kind of have to ask you guys a couple questions. Some things that have come up to me. Do you like? Man, I had him. Hold on, I'll think of it. I was gonna ask if there was an element of the game you liked or not. But let's talk about Joey Gallo for a minute. Chris knew I was going to bring him up because I brought him up to him yesterday. Hey, yeah. Christy, thanks for joining the show. Joey Gallo. He had struck out, what was it, Chris? 28 out of 56 times already this year?
I believe so, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, it was something bad. And then I saw that he played last night. Okay, so Joey Gallo, 2 for his last 27 with 12 strikeouts in his last 9 games. Then he plays last night. He has 4 at-bats, and he strikes out 4 times.
Oh, wow.
By the way, looks like we lost Big B for a minute, but he is on pace to – there he is.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting some bad weather here in Minnesota, so.
That's all right. So I will tell you that I looked up who struck out the most in a season, and these numbers are insane. And Joey Gallo is actually the worst on some of these. So Mark Reynolds struck out 223 times in 2009. That's the record.
Okay.
He had 600. He had over 600 plate appearances. Okay, so that's still not good. Joey Gallo in 2021 for the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees struck out 213 times. He had 505 plate appearances.
Yeah.
So he struck out almost half of his at-bats. Then Joey Gallo in 2018 struck out 207 times in 515 plate appearances. I mean, we could go on, but at this point, it kind of isn't fair to keep piling on Joey Gallo.
Well, okay, let's stockpile one more. Tony Gwynn struck out how many times in his career compared to Gallo?
Oh man, yes. I'd have to look up the actual number, but it's crazy how many times. Remember what they say? Tony Gwynn struck out 80. There was 84 strikeouts in one night in Major League Baseball, or 200 and maybe it's 200 and something, and he struck out that many times in 8 years or something.
Yeah, it's final 8 years, I think it was.
Yeah. I would think so, yeah.
Tony Gwynn stats. So I have these up, and Tony Gwynn does it have his strikeouts in here? I'm trying to find those. But I'll tell you, this is a guy that did not strike out very much.
Nope.
So how many times in his career do you think that Tony Gwynn struck out 3 times?
I think I saw it. I think it's 0.
I'm going to each one.
1. He had 1 3-strikeout game in his career, and that was back in 1983 in his second year in the league.
Yeah.
Second year in the league, and he never did it again. That's insane.
That is insane.
That's just a crazy number. Let me find.
We should find out what game that was and find out what he did the game or game after, because he probably went 3 for 3.
Right? Right, probably. Yeah, just the pure numbers this guy put up. We talk about whether or not, we talk about GOATs and who was the greatest of all time. We talk about it being Pete Rose in baseball, but I don't know. It might be Tony Gwynn as far as pure hitting. Maybe the best pure hitter of all time, I got to say.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing what a lot of fans have to learn. Just because you hold records, Pete Rose holds, I think, every pretty much batting record possible. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he's got plate appearances, games, hits, and so on. Just because you hold a record doesn't mean you're the greatest,
Right. Okay, so here it is right here. So we just named off 2 seasons for Joey Gallo. In those 2 seasons I named off, he struck out 440 times. 420 times in those 2 years. Okay?
Yep.
Tony Gwynn, in his entire 20-year career, struck out 434 times.
Oh, wow.
And that's over what, 22 seasons?
20 years.
20 years,
he struck
okay.
out 434 times in 20 years.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
So if my math is right, that's like 20 times a year.
Yes.
God.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn is definitely. It's not the same game anymore. That's for sure.
No. And I mean, but a lot of that too. You look at the pitchers he faced. I mean, and there's a lot of great pitchers that he could have faced in that time that were king of strikeouts and can't get them out.
Right.
But just think, I mean, we average that out. 20 strikeouts. J-Mac, Swanson has how many? Sano has how many strikeouts in the first 3 weeks of baseball? I mean, and
sorry. So just to add on more to that, Gallo, we said 420 strikeouts. Now remember, he had just over 1,000 plate appearances for those 420 strikeouts. Okay.
Yep.
In 2,440 career games, Tony Gwynn only had 34 times that he struck out more than once in a game.
Yeah.
His 434 career strikeouts in 10,232 plate appearances.
Yep.
It says, by comparison, Adam Dunn has struck out 486 times since the start of 2012.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even play anymore. Mark Reynolds struck out exactly 434 times in 2 seasons. 2 seasons.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We could go on and on about what this guy did, but his numbers are just insane. Just insane numbers from Tony Gwynn.
That is insane.
By the way, they say, you just remember when the strike shortened the season in 1994?
Yep.
So if you take a 179 game span, which is a little over a full season, as we know, Gwynn would have hit 402 between July 1993 and May 1995. In that time, he would have hit 402 and 697 plate appearances.
Wasn't that short season? Was he on pace to hit 400?
He was on pace to hit 400.
Yeah.
So, one last thing about Tony Gwynn. In 2 strike counts in his career, he hit 302 with 2 strikes. It's only been measured since 1998, but you look at who's second on the list all time during that time, and it would be Wade Boggs, and his batting average was 260.
Yeah.
He's 42 points above the next guy for that. Just insane. Again, just crazy numbers for Tony Gwynn. The guy was unworldly.
Just think, too, if those two, because Wade Boggs was a pretty decent hitter back in his day. You put Gwynn at 3 or even at 2, and you put Boggs at 3. I mean, how are you going to pitch around those two?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to. He also had 9 5-hit games in his career. 9.
Nice.
And he had 45 games with 4 or more hits. How many guys would you see they doing that today?
Not me.
Yeah, you're not going to get anywhere close to that. Well,
he had 19 consecutive seasons of 300 or better batting average. Just crazy. These numbers are just crazy. I could go on and on and on, but so the last one, and we share this one a lot on the show, but he could have went 0 for 1,182 to end his career, and he would still hit 300.
That stat alone right there is just amazing. I mean, we can talk about his strikeouts and stuff, but because that would be what
2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons, maybe a little bit over, but to bet 0 for that,
not have a hit in 2 full seasons and a little bit over that, and he still would have hit 300 for his career. That's you're right. That's the stat that should tell you anything you need to know about how good of a hitter he was. Christy says, I'm just glad the Red Sox beat the Orioles today. And I'm happy that the Braves beat the Rangers.
I'm happy the Twins got smoked by the Rays after the first inning. I mean,
yeah. Right. So this is what I was going to ask you guys earlier, and we'll go into 2 truths and a lie after this. But I was going to ask you, what's your guys' thoughts on all these combined no-hitters lately? Not leaving the pitcher in, no matter what his pitch count is, to try to keep the no-hitter going. Are you a fan of the combined no hitter, or do you think that we should see more single pitchers getting no hitters?
Well, I brought this up before. I mean, yeah, a no hitter. I mean, as a team, that's still a great accomplishment. So we can't take nothing away from that, And I think there was one today, and they had like 6 walks, so that might diminish it a little bit. But for me as a pitcher, I mean, unless I'm saying that I'm tired or I'm maybe coming off a little sore elbow or something after my last start, if I'm throwing a no hitter, yeah, you're not taking me out. I mean, that's a hard accomplishment to come by, but the argument on the other side will be, well, the pitchers nowadays, pitch every 5 days. They, or now it's, the shortened spring training, so everybody's treating this like a spring training game. So, I wish there was more bulldog mentality like they had back in the day when it came to pitching, and you had to get to 6-7 innings. Now they're just hoping that their starter goes 5 innings and then they go from there.
Right.
I think it should happen. Yeah, I mean, it's still a no hitter. You're just counting on. So
I just don't think I'm a big fan of the combined no hitter, but
Well, I'm not a big fan of it either. I'd like to see more single, because right now just by thinking, you're not going to see another 25 game winner. We're probably not going to see another 300 career game winner.
We'll never see a 20 game winner. We might not.
There was one last year, I thought.
Yeah, but it's really hard. I mean, you have to pitch.
No, it is hard. You're right. I mean, don't get me wrong. You are correct. It is hard to do. I mean, so the game's changed so much. It's all analytics. It's all this, I got the 6th inning guy, 7th inning guy. I got the lefty righty guy. I got my setup guy. I got a bullpen guy, some of these teams are even doing bullpen games every 6th day where they start a reliever and then go from there.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, real quick on baseball. Dang it, I had it. I'm a little spacey tonight, I guess. Anyway, maybe we don't have a last thing on baseball tonight. That's okay. 2 truths and a lie. Who's ready for that?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm ready.
all right.
All right. Let's have Big B go first tonight.
Ooh, okay. I'm going first. All right. My first vehicle was a blue 1992 Ford Explorer. My favorite color is any shade of red. And my favorite book outside of sports books is Charlotte's Web.
I'm going with the second one as the lie.
What's that, Chris?
I'm going with the second as the lie.
You go second one's a lie? Okay.
I'm going to go with the first one's a lie.
Okay. I'm trying to think what order I had them. I should say my memories are lost. The one that's a lie is my favorite color is any shade of red. I hate red.
Chris
That's
got
right.
Chris got that one right. That was
Yeah.
the one he said. Okay. All right. Because I had heard you say before that your favorite book was Charlotte Webb, so I thought that one was a truth.
Yep, that is true. That is my favorite book.
All right, Chris, you're next.
All right. The first one would be I never been to Disney World. Second one would be I've played kickball. The third one would be I'm trying to think of a good third one. I was starter of this the master of ceremonies or whatever for a race.
Oh. What was the second one again, Chris?
The second one was I've played kickball.
Okay, you play kickball. God, Chris always surprises us.
I'll say the lie is that you've played kickball. I don't think you've ever played kickball.
I'm gonna go with the third one was a lie.
The lie was I've never been to Disney World. I have been to
Oh
Disney.
my God.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I guess here I go. Two truths and a lie. Two truths and a lie. My first baseball game ever was at the old Metrodome in Minnesota when the Brewers and the Twins still played in the same division. The second one would be that I lost a slow pitch softball game 68-11. And the third one would be that I have played in multiple cornhole tournaments and finished in the top 10.
Oh. I know you mentioned the last two somewhat. I'm just trying to remember if that's how you. I'll go the first one. Your first ever game was at the Metrodome.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Actually, the first one is true. My first ever game was Minnesota against Milwaukee in Minneapolis at the old Metrodome. That is back when I could name off. It's when Molitor was still playing for the Twins. John Jaha played for the Brewers.
They're looking at what, mid 80s or late 80s?
It was probably around 1990 or 91.
Okay.
Yeah, right in there. And the one that is a lie is that I've played in multiple cornhole tournaments and finished in the top 10. The highest I've ever finished in a cornhole tournament is 12th.
Okay.
So
Not bad.
that's the one that was a lie. So it was a little white lie, but it was a lie. So I have lost a slow pitch softball game 68-11.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. So, yep, we'll have that conversation another day. That one was pretty bad.
Oh, I've been a part of slow pitch softball games that were like that too. So if not worse.
Right. Well, Chris, give us 30 seconds, man. Tell us what's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. Tomorrow we got women's tackle football, the Women's Football Alliance. That will be returning tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. So tune in for that tomorrow.
And just to elaborate on that, it's the Oregon Cougars against the Seattle Spartans.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be held in Cottage Grove, Oregon. We're going to be there with bells on. We're going to live stream that for you, give you a couple different angles. Hope to get an interview or two after the game, see what we can do there. But that'll be a great time. So tune into that. Big B, what do you got for us?
No, thanks for everybody for watching. Keep checking us out Sunday, 11 Central. Morning Tailgate returns with their draft recap on our teams. Some moves that we thought were good, bad. Some picks that were good or bad. So check that out with myself, Crispy Bacon, and our boy Tim Hendricks.
All right. And all I really have to say is some big things coming to Coast, so make sure you're watching out for those. We'll make those announcements as they come. We may have a big news for the Four Bros Radio Show as far as a guest goes. So when that comes about, I will let you know. And for now, we want to thank you for watching and listening. We couldn't do this without you. We do this for you and because of you. And we just love coming on here and hanging out and talking with you. Give us any ideas you got, what you like, what you don't like, change the show. We'll see what you guys come up with. So for now, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. Lifelong dreams being lived in front of your very eyes. We'll see you all